Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Fadhel Ahmed Yuhandi. I'm from State Islamic Senior High School to Kuantan Singingi. I'm standing here as the opposition team. This house regrets merger and acquisitions within the tech industry. I totally disagree with this motion. When bigger companies acquire smaller companies, that creates power imbalance. That was the sentence that you just have said. You only think that big companies always colonize the small companies, even though most of the two industries that work together always prioritize common interests, such as teamwork, the goals of both company, and they able to provide many new jobs for those in need. This is not about the power imbalance, but it's about how big company mobilize or educate the smaller companies so they can work together. By working together, these companies can add their work experience. Also merging here is not only for the dominant company. The small company can learn a lot from the big company. Isn't it? If a big company offer cooperative to small company is an achievement, ladies and gentlemen, because the big company must have seen a great potential from the small company, so that both parties can get their respective benefits if they work together. Okay, from that line, I got some words to be defined. First of all, what is acquisitions? Acquisition is a business combination in which one of the companies, namely the acquirer, gains control over the net assets and operation of the acquired company by granting certain assets, acknowledging a liability, or issues shares. And now is merge. Merge is a legal consolidation of two entities into one, whereas an acquisition occurs when one entity takes ownership of another entity's stocks, equity interest or assets. From a commercial and economic point of view, both types of transaction generally result in consolidation of assets and liability under one entity. And the distinction between a merger and an acquisitioner is less clear. A transaction legally structured as an acquisition may have the effect of placing one party's business under the indirect ownership of the other party's shareholder, while a transaction legally structured as a merger may give a party shareholders partial ownership and control of combined enterprise. A deal may be euphemistically called a merger of equals if both CEOs agree that joining together is in the best interest of both of their companies, while when the deal may be regarded as an acquisition is called unfriendly. I have an argument here. By merging two tech companies, we can see positive development towards the public, ladies and gentlemen. The merger can provide advantage. It can growth or diversification from companies that want rapid businesses growth, both in terms of company size, stock market, and business diversification. A merger is one of the quick ways to make it happen. The company does not have to raise new products. In addition, if the company expands by merger, then the company can reduce companies or reduce competitions. It's because they work together. And also, it can protect yourself from the takeover. This occurs when a company becomes the target of a hostile takeover. The target firm acquires another company and finance to take over with debt. Because of this debt burden, the company's liabilities become too high for the interested bidding firm to bear. Let's take an example. Bank CIMB Niaga is an example of a merger company consisting of two banks, namely Bank Lipo and Bank Niaga. Both were formed based on the policy of Bank Indonesia, which stated that banks must have sole ownership. One of the efforts to make it happen is to do a merger. This merger was carried out on June 3rd of June 2008 under the name PT CIMB Niaga Tbk, which merged Bank Lipo and Bank Niaga. Where both have wealth and assets that are certainly is very large. So because of that, we have to merge an acquisition within the two tech industry. We have to apply this to tech industry, and I'm totally disagree with the affirmative opinions. So that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.